This is the prophet Ezekiel 38 verse 1. And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Ezekiel 38 verse 2, Son of man, set thy face against Gog and the land of Magog, and the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Prophesy against him. Prophet Ezekiel 38 verse 6, And thus saith the Lord Yahweh thy power, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, and the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Prophet Ezekiel 38 verse 4, And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horse and horsemen, all of them clothed for all sorts of armor, even a great company of bucklers and shields, and all of handling swords. Prophet Ezekiel 39 verse 1, Therefore thou son of man, prophesy against God, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh thy power, Behold, I am against thee, O God, and the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Prophet Ezekiel 39 verse 2, and it reads, And I will turn thee back and leave but the sixth part of thee, and will cause thee to come up from the north part, and will bring thee upon the mountains of Israel. Ezekiel 39 verse 3, Salakia. And I will smite thy bow out of thy left hand, and I will cause thy arrows to be fall out of thy right hand. And this is Prophet Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty man. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. The prophet Joel 3, verse 10. Beat your plowshares and the swords and the pony hooks and the spears, and let the weak say, I'm strong. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakakadash. In the Heavenly Father, the true name is Yahweh, and His unbegotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Those are their true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Lash Wakadash, the whole tongue. And Shalom to the elders, Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a sit-down lesson that I want to bring out from the JerusalemPost.com by Reuters, published February the 13th, 2024, and it reads, I would say, even though this was 2 days ago, but it's, still recent though, as of February the 13th, 2024, and it says, Russia preparing for military confrontation with West, says Estonia. A military attack by Russia is highly unlikely in the short term, he said. Partially because Russia has to keep troops in Ukraine, and it would stay unlikely if Russia built up its match in Europe. Russia is preparing for a military confrontation with the West within the next decade, or could be deteriorated by a counter build-up of armed forces, in Estonia Foreign Intelligence Service said on Tuesday. It says the growing numbers of Western officials have warned of a military threat from Russia to countries along the eastern flank of NATO, calling for Europe to get prepared for rearming. It says the chief of the intelligence service and the assessments were based on Russia's plans to double the number of forces stationed along its borders with NATO, especially rising tensions between NATO and EU, right along with Russia, because you have Belarus and Russia as increasing allies against one another, and tensions are rising against NATO. Members of Finland and the ballistic states of Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia. Russia has chosen a path which is long-term confrontation, and the Kremlin is probably anticipating a possible conflict with NATO within the next decade or so. It's gonna be lesser than that, especially what we're seeing that's taking place with the rising tension with the Russia-Ukraine situation, with the EU versus NATO, Belarus and Russia versus NATO. So it ain't gonna be no decade. It's gonna be lesser than that. Kind of way we seeing things playing out. But I just want to add an additional note to that. Kapu Watson, if I pronounce the name right, told reporters at the release of Estonia National Security Threats Report. It says a military attack by Russia is highly unlikely in short term, he said, particularly because Russia has to keep troops in Ukraine and would remain unlikely if Russia built up forces match in Europe. Likelihood depending on Europe readiness intelligence, chief said. If we are not prepared, the likelihood of a military Russian attack will be much higher than without any preparation, Walton added. Estonia and the other ballistic states have increased their military spending. Slovakia, Estonia and other ballistic states has increased their military spending to over 2% of the value of their economics after Russia invaded Crimea in 2014, and NATO allies have raised their presence in those countries. It says German plans to have 4,800 combat ready troops in the region by 2027 in its first uh, permanent foreign deployment since World War II. And Rosen and NATO and its allies were moving in the right direction to counter the Russian threat. Rosen does not expect a Russia breakthrough in Ukraine before its presidential election in March, as it would need to mobilize significantly more troops to achieve that goal. Speaking about the U.S. presidential candidate, Donald Trump commented that he will not defend allies who don't spend enough on defense. Rosen said in a such statement are never helpful. Russia's ability to provide ammunition to its troops is continuing to overweight Ukraine's, and unless Western support is sustained or increased, Ukraine is unlikely to be able to change the situation on the battlefield, he added. And I believe it was a news article came out like a couple of days ago that the United States saying they're going to do whatever it takes to continue to assist and help Ukraine, while you have the Russia-Ukraine wars increasing as it entering the second and third year of the Russia-Ukraine war. This is Joel 3 verse 9. Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty man. Let all the men of war draw near and let them come up. Prophet Joel 3 verse 10. Beat your plowshares and swords and the pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say I'm strong. So with that, hopefully this sit-down lesson was edifying from the Jerusalem Post by Reuters as of February 13th, 2024, and it reads, Russia preparing for a military confrontation with West, says Estonia. So with that, once again, hopefully the lesson was edifying of the sit-down lesson of this recent news article. And with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem HaKarkadash. And the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and His unbegotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahushai. Those are their true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Lashwan Kadash, the Holy Tongue. And Shalom to the elders, Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf. And until next time, I will say Shalom.